G'day everyone, you are watching the Sydney City Space Slugs. We're coming to you live with a round 5 game from the most recent Shatterpoint League. So joining me in the commentary box is one of my good mates, Michael. How you going, Michael?
Good, Tom. Happy to be here. A little bit scared. It's my first time commentating, but
Oh,
keen to watch the game. I think your commentary on the games that I have watched you stream has been amazing. So, big shoes to fill. But yeah, happy to be here.
oh, thanks so much. No, it's going to be a really, really good time, especially considering we've got some really fantastic rosters to show, some fantastic players, and of course, I guess the most exciting thing is some models making their debut on the stream. Did you want to go over Oleg's roster, and then I'll have a look at Unlucky Gamers?
Oh, can do. Yep. So Oleg's got Darth Vader Jedi Hunter, very popular unit, very popular character. So, I think you'll see him quite often played or play against him. So in the squad with Darth Vader Jedi Hunter, we've got Padawan Ahsoka Tano. Another interesting character. I think, obviously she was a pre-order character, so not everybody that plays physical may have had the opportunity to use her, but she's coming out soon with the Plo Koon box, so she's a cool, fun character. And then finishing up that squad are the ARF troopers, so one of the strongest clone troopers that Galactic Republic have available. So they're another unit that you'll see quite often. We've also got Jedi Master Plo Koon heading up the other squad, which I think that's the character that hasn't been on stream before. I personally have not really played with Plo because I primarily play physically. I don't tend to play a lot on Tabletop Simulator, and I don't tend to use characters that haven't been released. But I'm really excited to see what he brings. An interesting character. Very, very interested to see how his identity ability gets played. So backing up Plo, we've got Barriss Offee. So I know Plo has a lot of synergies with Padawans and clone troopers. So you can see the theme there. We've got Padawan Ahsoka Tano, and then we've got Barriss Offee Jedi Padawan. Both Plo and Barriss have force push, so a lot of diceless displacement available in the strike team. And then finally, there's the 212th Clone Troopers. So an interesting clone decision there. I think I'm not sure if in the rest of the rosters Oleg's got clone commandos somewhere, but I think often you'll see there's a toss up between clone commandos and 212 clone troopers. So yeah, that's his strike team.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, it will be a really interesting roster here, and the 2-1-12th are absolutely an interesting choice. You generally see the 2-1-12th taken, I think, over the RCs or the Republic Commandos when Obi-Wan Kenobi is not the primary, because then you don't have access to that the scale shenanigans with his hunker token spam. Yes, you were correct here that Jedi Master Plo Koon is one of the ones that we haven't seen on the stream. So very, very keen, as you've said, to see him and his combat tree, Form 5 Gemso, alongside Darth Vader's Your Hatred Makes You Powerful. That's going to be very exciting. So just before we go over the roster of Unlucky Gamer, I do want to say that Unlucky Gamer won the priority role. So we ended up having, what have we got lined up here? We've got Mace Windu lined up against Plo Koon, and then we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi lined up against Darth Vader. So that's going to be really interesting. The objective that we drew was... I think stick to the plan. No, secure the exits was the one that we drew, which is of course regroup. When a unit is activated with a Shatterpoint at the start of its activation, it can remove 1 condition or 2 damage from itself, and they have just started the time. So, what do you reckon about the pairings here, Michael? Are you happy with Mace Windu into Plo Koon, or are you happy with Plo Koon into Mace Windu? What do you think you prefer here?
Yeah, that's it's interesting. I don't know. I guess the my concern with well, I guess it wasn't really up to Unlucky Gamer here because he had to place the first unit down. So I think it's probably a good idea to put Plo Koon up against Mace because obviously Mace loves to be engaged. That's how his identity ability gets triggered. So you've got both Plo and you've got Barris able to push Mace quite far, which I think is a good play from Oleg because that potentially gets Mace out of engagement, and then his steadfast and protection then turns off. So it's probably a good play from Oleg to begin with.
I agree. I think, yeah, if you're Unlucky Gamer, you probably wanted to have Mace up against someone like Vader, considering, as you've said, Mace has that steadfast and protection built in, and Vader has no access to diceless displacement. So, an unfortunate reality for Unlucky Gamer here, going with the priority. But players can, of course, both pivot. So just a bit of an update on the game here. The first draw from Unlucky Gamer was, of course, Mace Windu, who was promptly whacked into reserve. The second draw was the Republic Commandos, and we've used them to just take this objective up here and clog up this this sort of island or tower up here. So that'll be 3 points secured for Unlucky Gamer. Now, let me just quickly go over Unlucky Gamer's roster. So, very excitingly for me, I'm a massive General Obi-Wan Kenobi fanboy, and this is his debut on the channel as well. So, really, really cool there. We're going to see a lot of reserve manipulation. We're going to see a lot of dice being rolled, a lot of hunker generation as well, which I'm really, really excited about. Then we've got the tried and true Captain Rex, which really synergizes alongside that hunker manipulation and that hunker synergy. The Republic Clone Commandos, and then we've got a package of Mace Windu with his trusty Commander Pons and the ARF Troopers. So really, really cool. I don't believe we've seen either Plo, Ahsoka, Padawan, or Obi-Wan Kenobi on the channel here before. So that's going to be really, really cool. Okay, and moving over to Oleg's first activation, we have pulled the ARF Troopers, and they are, of course, alongside Darth Vader. So it's going to be quite difficult for them to take this objective off the Commandos. How would you approach this, do you reckon, Michael? Do you reckon you'd pivot them and try and take the far objective across from Mace Windu, or are you just going to try and condition them out and make them a little bit easier to access from, say, Rex or Padawan Ahsoka?
Yeah, I think it's really tough because there's a ingress point leading up to that objective. So because I believe the Clone Commandos, they would have had probably a double hunker. Oh no, they've only got the one. Okay. I thought they did. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. They're going to have the ability to dash back up. So even if you push one off, it's probably going to get back up there. So it's a difficult situation to be in. I think you just got to try and roll dice and hope you get lucky. And then, look, it looks like he's making the right move. So he's going to use defensive maneuver to move up, where he can shoot the rear one. And then I guess he'll try and maybe go for a climb and get. Oh, the second one probably can't get up there now. What about yourself, Tom? What do you think?
I think you do just probably try and condition stack them a little bit. Due to the fact that they have Steadfast and a Hunker token, you won't be able to push them off the objective. But they are going to get a crit and a hit. So one crit through, I believe. Oh, actually, they'll get pretty far through. Unfortunately, the more expertise you roll with the Commandos, the worse that they get. So unfortunately, they've only blocked 2, and looks like Oleg has gone through 5 on his tree. So it will get a full tree off those ARF Troopers, which is a pretty good way to start the game, I'd say. So that is quite nice indeed. But yeah, there won't be any shoving, just because of Steadfast, and there will, of course, be some protection as well. So the maximum that the ARF Troopers can do on the first attack here is going to be 4. Looks like they're attacking again, and we'll have to get a damage update in a moment. Another good expertise roll for Oleg, so that will be 1 crit going through. It will be 1 crit and a hit going through as well, because of the 3 expertise being a little bit worse than the Commandos. They actually drop a result there as well, so that's going to be interesting. So how many do we get through there? 2? Okay, so let's get a damage update. It is going to be 4 damage total on the Commandos with an expose and a pin. So we'll see if we see Obi-Wan Kenobi's knowledge and defense get triggered here, where he can remove some hunkers and clear some conditions, or clear some damage as well. But I think that is the right move. We'll see if the other inbuilt synergy here with those Padawans is, of course, that Padawan Ahsoka Tano can use getting ahead of yourself again snips. So after a clone trooper unit within 3 makes a combat action, she can jump and make a 5 dice attack if she's in range with them. But of course, it's an oft forgotten ability, and looks like we have indeed forgotten about it. So we've just moved straight on, and Oleg scored 3. But that jump actually could have been pretty clutch, because you put Padawan Ahsoka Tano that much closer to that objective here with those commandos. So yeah, interesting to see if that ends up biting Oleg in the bum. All right, so we've drawn. Oh, you go. Yep.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say Oleg only scored 2, not 3 that time. So it'll be interesting, because oftentimes this first struggle with this second mission pack can just oscillate between the second player scoring 3 and then it going back to 0. But we're not going to get that this time, so quite interesting. And yes, just unlucky gamer. He pulled the Shatterpoint, and I believe he Shatterpoint shuffled that back in, and now he's got Rex.
Yeah. Okay. Very, very interesting. So that's a really good, interesting point. Let's have a look at the combat stance from Mace Windu. We do have him on Jedi Master. So as soon as Mace Windu is Shatterpointed, he will refresh to Force if you decide to Shatterpoint him. And we have, of course, got Obi-Wan Kenobi in his trusted form for Ataru, which is his not his preferred stance in the fluff, but it is the preferred stance in AMG's game of Shatterpoint, isn't it? That's for sure.
It certainly is. Very defensive, and his best defensive tree as well.
So, Michael, you were just talking about fluctuating between 3 and 3 points between both players, and we did have the option there for Oleg to maybe pivot with his ARF troopers, or maybe even reserve them and take the far objective. And likewise, we've had the option here for Rex to potentially, being one of the fastest models in the game, to actually take that far left objective and score 4. Is that something that you would have been interested in instead of going after these ARF troopers? Or are you happy to just get some wounds down?
I think it, being the second player and being the first to score, you probably do want to score that 3 rather than just get 2, because I find this mission, you going second is a big advantage, because if nothing changes, like if you guys just reinforce each of the points that you're holding and you go back 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, eventually the second player wins it, just because the momentum keeps building up every time it goes to 0. So yeah, I think I probably would have gone for the other objective. But we'll see what happens. Maybe the 4 damage in those conditions, when Padawan Ahsoka activates, she just gets up there and she'll finish them off and take that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see what happens. So I think Rex has done 6 damage here to the ARF troopers.
Yep. And he could be maybe going for some healing shenanigans here with Captain Rex. There could be some defensive maneuvering or something similar. Yeah. So that is one way to play it. What about you in the audience, guys? What do you reckon? We've got a couple of viewers, or more than a couple, which is nice. So let us know what you think about the game. Chuck your name in support of one of these players, and let us know what you think of their rosters as well. Very interested to hear. And for the first time ever, I'm going to ask, or not ask, I'm just going to say, if you're liking what you guys are seeing, chuck us a follow on Twitch. Thanks to Wolftum for following us earlier. And if you're watching this on YouTube in the later days, chuck us a like, hit that subscribe button, and we'll keep the content churning out. All right, so this is the one thing that I think I was a little bit afraid of here, Michael. So we have had Oleg draw Vader. And the closer that Rex gets to these backlines, the closer that he gets to inevitable danger from Vader. Would you take the plunge and go after Rex or maybe these commandos here with Vader, or would you wait a little bit longer?
I think the difficulty here is, I guess, look, maybe you reserve him and you hope for a pull on the other side. To take that other point, or if you get Padawan Ahsoka, she can probably get up there and take that point off.
He's going for it.
He's going for it.
He's going for it. Yeah, so this is almost a guaranteed wound here on the commandos. We've got Desert Spiral in the chat saying that this is also a challenging map for Mace. So yeah, there's no there's a lot of ingress, but there's no. I mean, Mace has no sort of natural access to jump. So he's got to really, really go for it and work hard. This is inevitably a. Oh, these clone commandos are already exposed, and that's a good roll from Vader. So that's going to be 4 critical results going through, and 1 strike result going through after all the results are calculated. So that is going to be 5 successes for Vader, which on his Dark Rage side, I believe is just push galore and damage galore. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely wounded those clone commandos.
Oh yeah, big time. And so now we still haven't broken, I guess, that parity. We're still either going between 3 and 2 points. So it will be a 3-point swing for Oleg, but we'll see how Unlucky Gamer can respond. The one thing that I will say is that you could pull any of these left-handed side models for Unlucky Gamer's perspective. So they could approach and take this center point, but very easily could Oleg push them off without any combat actions being made as well, thanks to all that diceless displacement. You've got Barriss with a really, really good force push and so many pushes on her combat tree as well. And you've got Plo Koon, who can make excellent use of Your Hatred Makes You Powerful as well. So we're just changing the combat stances from Dark Rage into Form 5 Gemso. So he's got a little bit more defensive capability or capacity there, and a little bit more dice results. And we'll see what we go for now. Would you go for Mace here, or is that too early? You haven't seen any of the Force Push characters go, so it's probably a little too early, isn't it, Michael?
I think it is a bit early.
Who are you fishing for, do you reckon?
I mean, anybody that you draw is fine, because, look, Obi-Wan can probably get up there and push Vader off.
Oh, yeah, big time.
So, anybody is fine at this stage, and he's got half of troopers.
Yeah, I think ARF troopers are good. How would you approach this? Would you put both of them on the point? Would you put one of them at a higher elevation and one of them at a lower elevation to make sort of Barriss choose a little bit? Like, what's your tactic into all these force-pushing characters? I haven't really seen many Galactic Republic force-pushing characters on the channel before, so this is going to be really interesting.
Neither have I. I think I said I haven't really seen Plo at all, and to be honest, Barriss hasn't. I haven't seen Barriss a lot either. She came out with Luminaria, but wasn't a super popular. I don't think she was a super popular character. So I am really interested to see here. And look, this is an interesting play.
Yeah, so I wonder if you can access the middle objective from the sort of from this tower here at a different elevation, but at the top of it, they might actually be able to contest from the top of these ledges. That could be an interesting thing. And putting the ARF troopers in combat is never a bad. In the middle of things is never bad. Just to extend that exposed coordinated fire threat range.
And I think that's probably. Oh, sorry for interrupting, but I think that's probably what he's trying to do here. Just get them in position where that coordinated fire has a lot of targets.
Yeah, exactly. Dura Lavar has just said, I think it's a play to give exposed range, and I think that's exactly right. So we've had 6 successes for the ARF troopers, and we've had 4 successes for Darth Vader. So it will be 1 pin, 1 shove, and 2 damage on the ARF troopers, which is good. And then we're going to take this middle point here with the ARF trooper, and that's just going to make Obi-Wan's life a little bit easier potentially, just because he can start doubling up on some of those conditions or condition stack onto Darth Vader, because he has a beautiful combat tree. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Going to be really interesting indeed, and that is going to be 3 points scored. And now we've got both players entering the midline, and this is where I think though Oleg is probably going to start scoring 4 points, because no matter what he draws, he should be able to have control over getting these ARF troopers as well. And it is a Shatterpoint, so we can have a force refresh, and we can choose basically whoever we want. And I think we probably go for Barriss or Plo. What do you reckon about that, Michael?
It's not a force refresh. I think it's the heal.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It is. You're right.
Yeah, it's the heal. Yeah. So
yeah.
I guess yeah, I mean, Vader. Look, to be honest, Vader can go over and grab that aft that's hanging back on
He
that
could.
tower.
He is fast
um,
enough.
yeah. But yeah, yeah. Look, even 212, like you could just move the 212 up and take that point. You don't even have to really worry about that aft trooper.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
but I guess we'll see. Barris, maybe. But I
Yeah,
feel like
Barris
yeah, he
is.
wants to hold on to Barris until Mace moves, so he can push Mace out of engagement.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think that that's probably valid. Both Barris and Plo Koon can, of course, push, and you probably do want to make sure that you really have agency over controlling Mace's activation. So this actually might be a pretty rough old game for Mace. We don't have the oh no, we've got quite a fair amount of characters that do move Mace, don't we? We have Rex, we've got Mace himself, and we do have Commander Pons. All have a tactical ability that can move Mace Windu with charge, with rush to action, and with get a move on a soldier. So, you can push him and force him to spend those resources on moving Mace back in, and I think that is probably the play. But looks like we've actually got Oleg considering an Ahsoka trigger here, which would be good. You would be able to move up either Darth Vader or you would be able to move up Plo Koon. I would be interested, though, to not break that parity that the players have been seeing with the sort of 1-2-1-2 going here. And if Oleg didn't take a fourth objective point here, I'd be surprised. But it looks like we are not going to do it. We are going to go with Ahsoka and just probably go after Rex here, who does have a hunker token, so we'll be able to get himself back on that point if Ahsoka does push him off. What do you think about that play?
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting because yeah, with the hunker token, there's not tons that Ahsoka can do unless she just kills him. I don't think that she can.
She doesn't have the damage, yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Yeah, so she might do some.
Seven.
Does she have a
She does
strain on her
seven.
combat tree?
She does.
She does, but no
So
pin.
she took the damage from Vader to get
Yeah,
the
and
extra
that's a great
bonus.
roll.
Yep,
That is a
good
great roll. From both players, actually. So
No,
we've got
no misses.
three. Yeah, we've got 3 criticals and 5 strikes going in for Padawan Ahsoka, and we've got 4 blocks on Rex. So it will be 4 successes through for Ahsoka, which is pretty good. But again, we do have that hunker token on Commander Rex, so we will really be not able to control this objective or take it off of him. Whoa, I'm not sure what's going on there.
I think she took the jump or the reposition, maybe one of the two.
Oh yeah, of course. Okay, so it looks like she did the top line. So she started with a push that she followed up, and then she's just pushed Rex a second time. So he will be exposed, yeah. And I don't think we get that last push. I think it was only 4 successes, which will mean that Rex can... Oh no, she did. She went full tree there somehow. Okay. Did we get 5 criticals? No, it's only 4. So 5, 6, 7, 8... and 4 blocks. So it should have only been 4 successes, unless I'm missing something. Perhaps Rex was exposed? He could have been exposed. Maybe they just didn't put it on. Because he shot the ARF troopers.
Oh
so
no,
ARF
he
troopers,
was
of course.
sorry.
Yep.
I think they did check. They did check that the ARF troopers were in 5. So yeah, he would have been exposed.
Yeah. But here we go. We've just seen the hunker token taken off Rex, and he's just dashing back to make sure that Ahsoka doesn't take that objective off of Unlucky Gamer, off of Rex, and we will have an opportunity to maybe even get 4 for Unlucky Gamer here. So interesting activation. I think, burning the hunk is not a bad thing. You're making, of course, Rex a lot more vulnerable to getting wounded here now that he's so close to damage. So he's only got 2 damage left, 3 damage left. So yeah, it's not terrible. And we've pulled a Shatterpoint for Unlucky Gamer. So this is interesting. We could actually just pull... no, we couldn't pull Rex here. No. Do you Mace Windu? No, he's actually Shadow... He's going to shuffle it? He's thinking about it.
To me, I'd go... If Obi-Wan can get up behind Vader and push him off, I'd go Obi-Wan at this stage.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I do agree. But Shatterpointing Obi feels a bit weird. I mean, you've built your roster around Mace, right?
Well, I mean, you love Obi. I'm
I
wearing an
do.
Obi shirt at the moment. So Obi-Wan he's a beast, right?
He
Like
is a beast, absolutely.
Mace is good, but I think you just saw the strength that Obi-Wan brings to Galactic Republic with, that effectively stopped Oleg taking that point.
I do
Um,
agree. I do agree.
so
Yeah.
I probably looks like he's going. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks like
so
he's going with
shuffled.
Mace and he's
Yeah.
moving Obi-Wan up.
Yeah. And how much does Pons max out at on his combat tree? I think it's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so look, Pons could actually climb here and try and get the wound on Padawan Ahsoka. That's not a terrible idea, but he would be leaving himself sort of stranded in no man's land on top of this building. Oh, he could go on the same level. I think that might be worth it. Pons doesn't really have an adequate way to get to the midline. But he could just put another body on this center point here with a take cover and an advance. But it doesn't look like he's going for that play. He might just put himself in range at the bottom. Keep in mind, guys, that Pons does get to advance deploy himself. I'm not sure how far ahead Pons advanced or deployed himself from Mace. The reason that he does get to do that is because of a rule called forward scout. So he and any clone trooper supporting character in the same squad as Commander Pons, not strike team, but squad, can of course deploy forward. So what are we seeing here? Looks like we're just trying to put some pressure onto Darth Vader. What do you reckon about that one, Michael?
Look, I think it's a good play because Pons also provides that immunity to expose for clone troopers, and the ARF from Oleg are over on that side. So if he can get, his Pons over there within three, I guess. Look, the ARFs will then gain that immunity to the expose. The clone troopers are already out of things. Well, looks like he's decided to
Yeah.
reinforce that point, which that's a potentially good play as well.
Yeah, I think this is a nicer play. The more pressure that you try and put on Vader, the more likely that you are to have Olex 2-on-2s, Barris or Plo just sort of take the objective off you with very little effort. At least in this regard, you're forcing hopefully Plo or Barris to one shot a unit and then force push another, which is definitely possible. I mean, Plo's got a fantastic combat tree. He has 6 damage in 3 successes, but he would have to get all 5 successes to one-shot either the ARF troopers or Pons. So I do think reinforcing the point is better. I do.
And now
So
that
let's...
Oleg's
Yep.
drawn Padawan Ahsoka, it looks like an even better play from Unlucky Gamer there because he's reinforced that rear objective with Obi-Wan. So now Padawan
Yes.
Ahsoka can't just get rid of Rex. Um,
No.
with an attack and take that point. So yeah, it looks like he played that one well.
Unfortunately, she could have a cheeky dig at Mace Windu's objective over here to still score 4, but we can get a pretty easy counter to that because we do have Mace Windu in the bag. But that is a weird activation for Mace Windu, isn't it? Just protecting a backline objective. You definitely want him sort of front and center, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean he's still got the Shatterpoint as well, but yeah, you don't. So maybe his base objective, sorry, his base activation just with his card is not his ideal activation because he doesn't get the Shatterpoint ability trigger. So maybe you're okay with that.
Yeah. So we have used Padawan Ahsoka, and we have had her trigger her tactical ability on Darth Vader to get rid of his pin. So that's pretty good. And we have also exposed Captain Rex, I would assume, unless they're outside of range 4. Either way, though, we've had probably a good enough roll to see her destroyed. To see her get into Rex. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
see what
think
happens.
she applied the expose her last activation on the Shatterpoint.
Yeah, yep, yep. So we've seen a wound on Rex for sure,
Oh, and
which
he is taking the point.
yeah, he's gone. I think that's a smart move. I mean, you want to score 4, and he probably went down. Yeah, he went down the bottom tree there, so it will be the reposition, the strain, and that should combined with a jump or a take cover be enough to get onto the point for Oleg, and that will be a 4 score with a momentum. So Oleg will be sitting pretty in the third slot for the struggle, being only 2 points away. So that is, yeah, I mean, it's game on for Unlucky Gamer, right? Like you have to start making a move. You probably want to start drawing someone like Obi. How do you respond to this? Do you draw Mace and take the point back?
I think the thing you have to consider now is like Vader can't activate again, right? The Shatterpoint's gone,
Yep.
and Padawan Ahsoka can't activate again because the Shatterpoint's gone. So
And neither can
both
the
of
ARFs.
those, yeah. So both of those points are kind of Oleg has them now, but he's going to struggle to hold on to them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're locked down, really. Yep.
like you can even put Obi-Wan into reserve here and activate, which is what he's doing. I
It
wonder
is.
where he
Yep.
puts Mace. Does he put Mace on top?
Yeah, so just for anyone wondering, guys, I'll read this ability while we decide. We've got Patience being triggered. So you've revealed Obi-Wan, you've already got an order card in reserve, and you can either put that card on the top or the bottom, and then Obi-Wan gets to heal 3 and then jump. Did you see where we put them?
He put him on. It didn't matter because he had Shatterpoint left. He's just got Obi-Wan, Shatterpoint, and Mace left. So
Okay, that's really good activations
yeah.
for Unlucky Gamer. So it looks like we go on Shatterpoint. We've refreshed 2 Force, which means we can only be going with the Mace Windu. So that'll be pretty good indeed. Yeah. Okay, and we healed some damage off of... okay, I see what we had. So it looks like we did get a full tree, or 4 successes on Ahsoka Tano's turn, and she's actually chosen to heal 2 in the middle there as well. So she's actually full health, but Mace Windu can definitely get rid of her, I would say. So with Rush to Action, Mace Windu has just positioned Pons in a slightly better position, really on the objective, because remember guys, if your base is basically touching the objective, you can't be pushed off in one single shove unless you get dropped a particular elevation. So I think that is a good play, just making it a little bit harder for him to be displaced, and then we'll see a big swing into Ahsoka. Do you Jedi Master it up, Michael, or do you stay in form 7 Vapard?
Okay, look, Jedi Master first two options have push, and that gets you the point. But maybe you want to finally get some momentum. So you need, I think you need three successes on Vapard to take her out.
4. You need 4 because she's got 8 health.
Oh, she's got 8 health. Yeah, I'd stay on Master and just push her
Yep.
off. Just go for the guaranteed.
You got to make sure she gets exposed here though, because she does have a jump on 3
She does
expertise.
have a jump on 3. Yeah,
So I'm not sure if she got exposed. We'll see.
she's blocked 4.
She did. So it looks like we're spending 1 force here to get a reroll, which I think is good. You just don't want to see an expertise result. Anything else is good. Oh, expertise or fail. So we'll see. I'm not sure if she was exposed. That's the question. It's the question on everyone's mind.
He's got enough to at least get her off the point, right? Because he's got 2 crits now with that expertise.
He does, yeah, which is the 2 shoves that he needed. Absolutely.
That he needed, yeah. Man.
Yeah. It doesn't look like we've had a roll for the force. Yeah, so we just had 2 successes, I think. How much damage did we do? 3? Yeah, so just 2 successes. So he wasn't exposed, which is dangerous. I mean, if she had gotten 3 successes, she would have just jumped back on the point, which would have been really colossally bad. So just remember the coordinated fire trigger here, guys. It's very, very important. And we've had Oleg draw Barriss Offee. Now, my question to you, Michael, is do you reserve her or do you keep it? Barriss Offee, she has pushes galore, but her damage is not fantastic. So she maxes out at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So she actually can't take this point for Oleg here to score 4 again. She can only max out at 3.
I think you just... Oh, he reserved it. Well, look, there's the answer. But I probably, if she can get to that ingress point and get up there, I think you just go with her anyway. Push the ARF trooper off with your pushes, because you've got 2 pushes in 2.
Yeah. Just bear with me,
And
guys. Unfortunately, I just got disconnected, so I'll be right back. Let me just fix this problem, and I will come back soon. Okay, we're back. Sorry about those technical difficulties. Technical difficulties, guys. So, Michael, what have we just had? I can hear dice being rolled.
yeah,
Did
so
we end up going for
212, they're
Barris? 212.
shooting ARF, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
So
So
the ARF has
six
got,
six dice. Yep.
so that
That's not a
ARF
great
have
roll.
blocked 6, so I think they did nothing.
Okay. I think a crit might
Except
have gone
maybe
through.
some, maybe no, I think that was damage from expertise on the 212. That was the only thing they
Okay.
got.
212. No, the 212s would have gotten a
Oh
crit
no,
through.
they got a crit. Yeah, they
Yeah.
got a crit.
Yeah. Okay, so one success through. This will be two successes through this time. So it should be one, two, three, I think 4 damage total after the double pin. But we'll see what we end up with. But that won't be enough to take the point for Oleg. However, we do end up, putting Barris in prime time position to, of course, take the point now. So we'll see how Unlucky Gamer responds. What would you do you reckon here, Michael? Would you activate Mace or would you activate Obi-Wan?
Just so has Oleg finished? Yeah, he has. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry, I wasn't sure if he was gonna move the 212 up because that may have changed the decision.
yeah.
Oh,
He's left them.
interesting. Okay. He hasn't gone for Vader. He's gone for the ARF, which is probably good. You want to make
Yeah.
the expose cost more.
Yep, yep. And you might have a maybe slightly better time going into the ARC troopers, but you need to get pretty deep on the tree to wound 7. So I am a little ambivalent.
With a
But that's a
7
fantastic,
hits.
fantastic roll. So you'll still get 5 through, I think, and 3 blocks. So 5, yeah, 5 through. Is that going to be 7 damage though? That's my question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, easy. Okay. So you have wounded the ARF troopers. That is very good. I do think maybe actually going for Darth Vader here would have been good. It is worth to keep in mind that the flanks are pretty good to have in Sabotage Showdown. I think each mission set or each struggle has them feature quite heavily. So it might have been worth doing that because just pushing Darth Vader off is a really easy task. You know that you've got exposed there, and you can put some really good conditions on him. I mean, a second success disarm is pretty savage against Darth Vader if you're not wounding him, especially
Yeah, I
when you
think.
also can get an expose and a pin. It's really brutal.
Yeah, I think I probably would have done the same. I think you would have been able to expose Vader, right? Because the unlucky gamer's ARFs are not wounded, so you would have been able to expose Vader, and you would have been hoping for the disarm, the expose, and the pin with a push,
Yeah.
and that really hampers Vader's ability to do a lot at that
Oh, big
point.
time, yeah. And I do think you would have had a fine push angle. Considering how many
Yeah,
pushes
sure.
Obi does get, I think you can get one off and be pretty comfortable with that, to be honest.
Yeah,
So what did we end up getting? We did score 4 for Unlucky Gamer there. So we're still sort of in it, but we can score 3, I guess, in return. And we have pulled Plo Koon here. So what do you reckon about that? Plo, we're going to see some glorious activating here, I hope.
Hope so. I think what you're hoping to do, what I was saying, Barris might try a turn ago, which is get up there, wound the arfs, and then push Pons off to take the point.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's worth noting here, guys, that the reason that Plo can dash is because he's triggered, I know if we work together, we will stay alive. So he's chosen Padawan Barriss Offie. Because she is a trooper or a Padawan, then Plo Koon can also dash. So he's basically done a dash, done a move, and now he's going to have a swing into either the ARF troopers or Commander Pons. You probably want to go for the ARF troopers, really, just because you get to spread that coordinated fire away. But you also, looks like he, what would your target priority here be? Pons or,
I'd go ARF troopers.
yeah, yeah.
Well, not a
Okay, it's
great
a lot of
roll.
expertise. Not a great roll for either of them. It still will be three expertise is two crits on the old Plo Koon. So yeah, we will have to spend the force to get what we want, but we will still get what we want. So he's got three crits is actually, sorry, three expertise is two crits and a damage. So how many successes do we end up with? We end up with 5 up against 3. So 3 successes altogether. So yeah, we don't get the free force push. We don't get the free force push.
He does get 7 damage though, so are they already?
Yeah,
Already
they were
damaged a bit.
already damaged. Yeah. So I think we had 3 or 4 damage on them already, and we will be able to, of course, get the force push if we pay for it. And what we're seeing here, guys, is I think something that every Obi-Wan player can get into the habit of, which Unlucky Gamer has been doing very well. Even after his characters get wounded, you can, of course, still remove your hunker token to heal one and then do something. So let's say you had a really nasty condition on Pons that you didn't want to have to deal with, like a pin. You could have healed the ARF trooper for 1 and then still got to dash. Even though you can't heal anything off a wounded unit in terms of damage, you can still heal really pesky conditions. So I think that's really good. And we've probably tried to make the push a little bit harder to do. In fact, that probably would have been better. You could have backstopped.
Yeah, he could have. He
Pons
could have
here.
stopped. Yeah,
Yeah,
if he'd gone into base to base with Pons, it would have been impossible really to get this push
yeah.
off.
I'm not sure if they had the range there, but that would have been really good because yeah, you would have prevented the point being taken, which I think is really strong. And now Pons is also on this objective as well, so we'll see what ends up happening. So 3 points scored for Olek, putting him on the 2 position. Hang on. 1, 2, should only be... Yeah, okay, cool. They fixed it. Olek got a little trigger happy there. But yeah, I think backstopping Pons there with an Obi-Wan trigger would have been pivotal. Would have been absolutely clutch. But unfortunately, it is what it is. So how do you use Mace? Do you go forward and try and deal with Plo?
I think you. Oh well, interesting.
You've got to
If
be
Mace
thinking about
can,
that
if
Barriss
Mace can,
activation.
yeah, I know, and that's why I'm thinking if Mace can get to where Pons is, that could potentially be the play to take that
Yep.
point because there's only one of the two 12th. Because
Yep.
if he goes after Plo, Barriss potentially just says
Pushes
away
him.
with you. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
being
I
sort
think
of
this
in this next to the speeder is good for protection and steadfast for sure.
that's true. I think. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's probably good play as well to move Obi somewhere that it's much harder for Barriss to push him away.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yep. So just for the viewers, we've basically backstopped Obi-Wan in this sort of area with the ARF Trooper, similar to what I think Unlucky Gamer was trying to do with Pons. We might just not have caught it, and he didn't actually have the range. So I think he definitely measured for it, but just didn't pay off, unfortunately. Yeah. So I think I agree with you. I don't know if going for Pons is the best thing to do, but it does look like he is going for the 2-1-2. So I think that's, yeah, okay, cool. He just needs to also get himself into a position where he himself cannot be pushed around by Barris. He's going to have to really try and go deep. And I think that might have been why Unlucky Gamer is preserving his force so much, so he can get a couple of rerolls in, just so we can see if we can get as deep in this tree as possible. What do you reckon?
Yeah, and it looks like they were measuring can Plo use his identity ability here to take the expose so that those 2/12 can go from a fairly terrible defensive expertise tree to close, which is rather nice.
Yeah, so just for everyone's reference there, Plo's defensive expertise tree is pretty good. You always net 2 blocks, but that is due to we can do this the simple way or the difficult way. Essentially, Plo can expose himself, and then some Galactic Republic character within 3 can use his expertise chart. Keep in mind that if the character being the 2-on-2s is exposed, I believe they are still not able to use an expertise tree. So
yeah.
Looks like we've flipped into Vapard. We're rolling 7 dice.
I would have attacked the other clone trooper, but I guess if he doesn't have pushes in Vapard, which he doesn't, okay,
Yeah,
makes
exactly.
no difference then. I would potentially have thought about staying in Jedi Master to try and get the pushes so you can follow up and reinforce
and try and put yourself in a
yeah.
Exactly, and also sort of backstop yourself with one of these 2/12.
Yep.
I know you're only rolling 6 dice, but if you can sort of put yourself right in the middle, just for Michael, your perspective, I'm zooming in between Pons and in between this 2-on-2, and that maybe would have kept you safe from getting pushed here by Barris. It will, of course, force Barris to pivot pretty hard that direction, and you are putting every single condition on the sun, known to man on these 2-on-2s. So that is pretty good. You're also getting a momentum and scoring 4 again. So it's a pretty tight struggle here. It really is, and we'll see how much damage Barris can do. She won't be able to get 2 objectives. We've got too many characters wounded on the back line. So she's just got to pick. The easiest option is to go for Pons. There's no way that he can stop that. What would you do? Would you pivot right and put Barris up against Mace?
I think, she can't kill Pons.
But she can force push him, yeah.
Yeah, she can force push him, but she doesn't have a good angle at the moment. So, yeah. You know what I'd probably do is I would go behind Pons with my force speed, try and get the reposition and snake that back point.
Okay, interesting. Yep. She only needs 1 success for the reposition, so she can definitely do that.
Otherwise she can push Pons off that point, but then she has to stay there.
I like that. That's not too bad. The only problem is you've only got the 1 force left for Oleg.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that's tough.
I think this is a move, and now we can see if we get the reposition and then follow that up with a force speed or something. So we're doing an attack. Yep. Okay. So we are exposing as well.
Take damage from Vader. Probably. Yep. Let's see. And hope for the free force push.
Yeah. You are hoping here. You do get a lot of pushes, but if you don't get him off with the force push, then he's just going to come straight back with his hunker, because he does have a cheeky little hunker, and that's when you absolutely love knowledge and defense with Obi-Wan. So you're begging for that free force push here, absolutely begging for it, and it is a good block. You're going to get it no matter what, because you do have an exposed Pons here. So
that's 9 successes.
9 successes. Yep, exactly. Thanks to Barris's excellent expertise tree. So she will get a whole bunch of pushes.
Pons should not be exposed.
They spent the force for the.
So he has immunity. He has immunity to. Expose.
Of course. He's got a hunker. So that was a bit of a mistake from Oleg, I think. Unless that was a force speed, we'll have to see how it crumbles. So irrespective, it will still be 2 blocks into 9 successes. So it'll still be the full tree, but it won't be a wounded Pons. So what do you do? Are you going to push him really far, get your reposition, And then, yeah, it looks like he actually might be measuring for a push on Mace Windu here with the free tactical ability.
So that should happen at the end, though.
It
Doesn't
should.
happen now.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And they are
if
going to do it
they,
now.
because at the moment, Pons still should have protection and steadfast because that push doesn't happen until
Yeah,
after the combat gets
yeah.
resolved.
If they do it, you might just want to jump into the chat and just let
Yeah,
them
I
know
might
of the
just go
timing because that
check.
is a mandatory. Yeah. Maybe don't give too much away. Just talk about the timings or something. Yeah. Okay, so that is a mandatory trigger, guys, and you're actually not really meant to be able to trigger this. You're not be able to. You shouldn't be measuring for this before the push actually gets resolved either. So the protection and steadfast is really important there as well. Indeed. Okay, so this is a really tight struggle. It's been a great little game here. Really, really cool to see these new units being played as well. Obi-Wan and I think Padawan Ahsoka, but definitely Plo Koon for sure. So yeah, some strength being shown from General Obi-Wan Kenobi's tactical ability there. Oh, sorry, identity, knowledge and defense is just such a strong ability, and I absolutely adore it. So we'll just have to see what's going on with Oleg when Michael gets back. Oh, I think he's back.
Yeah, so I'm back. Yeah, so they were just measuring the where she might force push him. And Oleg did actually pay for the expose on Pons, even though it was he's immune.
Immune. Yep.
And yeah,
Yep.
and Unlucky Gamer kindly said take your force back, but I think Olex said no, I've made that mistake. So
Yeah, that's fair.
good
That's
good
fair.
play by both of them there.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think it is worth mentioning just for anyone that's watching now or in the future. You can't actually get the push measurement tool out until you're actually triggering the ability. So even though it doesn't really make a huge difference in this case, you're actually not able to measure it until you're actually committing to using the ability. So if you, for example, have a measure and then say, oh, I actually can't trigger or push Mace Windu, so therefore I'm going to use force speed instead. That's essentially what you can't do. But here's the the hunker being removed from Pons, and that'll of course put him back on the objective, which will force Barriss to use the tactical ability on Pons.
The free force push on Pons, I think.
Oh no, the tactical ability would happen before the hunker.
It would, yes, that's true.
Yeah, so I don't think we've actually. Maybe we actually pushed Pons too far there, and then.
No, that was
Oh yeah.
three pushes, Tosh. So she's got four pushes on her tree. So Pons got pushed three times.
Yep, and now she's following up the last one. Okay, so a little bit of a timing issue. We're hopefully getting it resolved, but we do need to be a little bit careful with exactly what times these abilities happen. That's when Shatterpoint can get a little bit confusing. But just for anyone's reference, your tactical ability should be happening in combat step 10C. I might be getting a little bit too specific here, but it is combat step 10C, and then your Obi-Wan ability will happen in 10D. So
I
just
don't
gonna have
think
to.
that works. I think that clips that
I
terrain.
agree as well, but that's for the players to decide ultimately.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're also doing these pushes here, guys, just make sure that you're clear and slow with the pushes, and any time that a character overlaps or bumps into something, they do stop. I don't think it would have made a big difference. I think you still push him far enough to get away from the point, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think that
So
would have been super close.
yeah, absolutely. So we've pulled Commander Rex, or sorry, Captain Rex, because he's not a commander. So that's for Unlucky Gamer. And what do you do here? How are you going to try and close the struggle out? Where is the game in the most contested position? I think probably Vader.
Yeah,
Yep,
you've got two pushes to start your tree off. So
yep. So just do that.
yeah, and if you can look, if you get lucky, well, look, you can expose him. It'll cost the force. You can expose him, and if you get 4, you can pin him as well, which is Vader hates being pinned.
Oh yeah, big time, big time. Yep. So I think you expose him. You go into Vader. Vader's probably expecting two blocks on 6 dice if he's exposed. So you should get a pretty good run here, and then you might even be able to stand in a position where you can just take the point off of Vader, and that would score Oleg one. Sorry, that would score Unlucky Gamer 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2,
But
3.
he's
Sorry, just
pushed Rex
4.
into reserve, and he's drawn the ARF troopers.
That's not a fantastic draw. Not a
Yeah, it's
fantastic
tough
draw.
because um, now they're wounded and they're active really early. Like we haven't even done that. We're not even in the second struggle, so they're going to be active and potentially out of the game before the third struggle if we get to
Yeah,
the
I
third
agree.
struggle.
So what I might do here, Michael, is I might trigger a defensive maneuver just to get this clone ARF trooper next to Plo out of engagement, and then I still have my advance to try and take the objective off of, say, Barriss Offee. But it looks like what we're doing instead is just trying to move and hunker and then take the objective off of Plo that way. I mean, it works, but you could have secured your back left objective here, like the
Yep.
one that has no one standing on it near Ahsoka, and potentially threatened Barris's objective as well, because you could have put some ranged attacks in there. I mean, he's triggering defensive maneuver here anyway, so
No,
he's not going to be
I
able
think
to
that's
attack.
a take cover. So he's the clone trooper on the right. He did a little dash because he can't
Oh, I see.
advance,
Yep. Okay.
and now he's taken cover.
Okay. Cool.
So he's
Yep. All
not
right. So he's
attacking
just gonna not attack. Yeah. All right.
because
Interesting.
I think he doesn't want to spend the 2 force for defensive maneuver at this stage.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, Oleg is slightly on the back foot here because
Mhm.
we are consistently scoring 4 for Unlucky Gamer. So I think at best we can have a 3-point swing for Oleg, which will give both players a momentum, putting the objective or the first struggle in Unlucky Gamer's hands. So, I mean, Plo's a good one to draw, but he can't score 2, I don't think. Is there any way that we can score 2? Do you reckon that dash from Ahsoka will get him on the back? Maybe. And yes,
It
it
will,
will.
yeah, it will, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So that was what I was talking about. I think maybe positioning those ARF troopers on that point there, and also threatening Barriss Offee's point would have been maybe the play there. We could have seen, as I said, a defensive maneuver, then an attack, seeing how much damage we can put into Barriss Offee. We might have even been able to get the wound because she's got a really bad ranged defensive profile. And then we could have done an advance to take objective that Ahsoka has just taken, and potentially taken the objective that Barriss is sitting on, preventing a 2-point swing.
Even going with Rex was probably a better play at this stage.
I mean, Rex being in the bank is good because you can respond really nicely to a lot of these triggers. Like you'll probably be able to easily displace Padawan Tano, and you'll probably even be able to get Mace Windu on to the point, which probably felt better in hindsight, I reckon. Just getting Mace Windu on in contesting range of Barris's objective. I'm not sure if he makes it, but it's worth measuring. And what have we got? We've got Plo Koon going into the ARF Troopers, no doubt, and he is taking damage into or from Vader's ability. Ooh, it's a great roll from Oleg. Sorry, from Unlucky Gamer though.
Is that what, 3 successes?
Yep. So 4 natty blocks on Unlucky Gamer's side, and we've had 5, 6, 7 successes. So yeah, only 3 going through, which won't be enough to win these ARFs. That is savage.
Yeah,
Savage.
that's. I mean, that's tough because Oleg would have been hoping for the momentum, and going from controlling 2 objectives to controlling 4. Now he's only getting 3 and no momentum. That is
He's
rough.
still, yeah. Actually, he can't force push for the victory either.
No.
Yeah, so 3, and that's sort of the same result that we were talking about before, right? Like you only score 3, and it looks like Unlucky Gamer can take the struggle if he scores 4
It
objectives
can
next
switch
turn.
it to 4. Yep.
Yeah, which is pretty
And this has
doable. I
been
mean,
a
yeah, you go.
long struggle as well. We're nearly an hour in.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely savage. So everyone in the chat, I hope you're enjoying the stream. Let us know what you reckon of that play, and let us know what you reckon of the game so far and who you're backing. And if you're liking it, yeah, let us know. If there's anything you want us to improve, don't hesitate. We're always looking at ways to change things and do things better. So yeah, just drop me a line and drop your name in the chat, and we'll have a talk about some tasty Shatterpoint. So Oleg's having a big think about this one, and I think it is worth it. Is there any way that we can deal with 2 ARF troopers? The answer is no, correct, Michael? Like, you get one
Yeah,
shove, it doesn't work.
yeah. There's no way. He's got the one shove that they've got protection and steadfast at the moment. Yeah, the
Yeah,
jump doesn't help him. Like,
no. Do you potentially heal twice just to sort of make that happen, and just pretend that the Vader damage never took place? Because that
I
is
mean,
probably the most synergistic part.
the thing is though, you kind of ARF troopers on what? ARF troopers on 4 damage is a lot nicer than ARF troopers on 2, right?
Yeah.
So I think Plo with 8 health, he's probably fine. I'd probably aim to do more damage so that my 212 could finish them off, or somebody could finish them off,
Or
because
Barris, or yeah.
yeah, like they have activated already this, this shuffle.
Yeah.
Um,
So we've ended up taking the top tree. So it'll be a pin and
yeah,
6
5
damage
damage.
total.
Yeah, and one less, so 5. That's clink damage away from getting wounded now. So
Yeah, and that is that's a big swing. I mean, that's struggle lost, depending on what we do here. Yeah. And it looks like we're spending the force. Yeah, spending the force to push Mace, and I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Just making sure that he gets a little out of the action, and you have to spend a lot of resources to get him back in. But unfortunately, Rex in the bank, we're able to just sort of dash him back in next activation, and I think that is probably what we do. I think that push is clean, and I mean, he has to take it now. He can't measure. But I mean, it's up to both players. If they're happy to measure pushes, then that is fine. Okay, so yeah, 4 points for an Unlucky Gamer win here. What do? Do you take Rex and just try and push Ahsoka Tano and expose her as well, paying a force?
I think you do, because that gives you the struggle, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to at this stage. I think you pay a force, get 1 success for a push, and then you win the struggle. Yep, I think that's probably the best thing to do. You don't have any characters on the center line, and yet we've pulled Rex from reserve over here for Unlucky Gamer. We have forgotten an expertise or an exposed trigger before, so hopefully we don't forget about it this time. What are you going to do? Are you going to shoot first, reposition later, or do you get into combat?
I think you need to get into combat because you want to push her away from the objective.
Mm-hmm. And I hope he's not forgetting about get a move on soldier. No, he hasn't. He's moved. He's done get a move on soldier on Rex, it seems.
Yeah.
So just we missed that. Sorry,
clear the damage.
He does. Yeah. So he's done get a move on soldier, and then he's just doing an advance, and then we're doing some attacking.
He should be just doing a dash here because he's engaged by.
Yeah, he's got it. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Okay, so this is a big roll. We need 1 success. 1 success for a struggle win.
I think he paid for the expose then, which is good because you don't want Ahsoka jumping back.
Nope. Okay, so we've paid for the expose, so that's good. Looking for a crit, and that is a good expose.
She got the 3. Expose. She would have jumped back.
She would have jumped back, exactly. So we've got 1 block, so it's going to be 4 successes. So we're going to get, 2 pushes, and we can also get a some heals.
Pin.
Actually, you could just go the top. You could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage and a shove, and an expose, making her a lot easier to plink and preventing her ever using Darth Vader's ability as well. That might be good. What do you reckon?
Yeah,
Double shove
if
pin, or would you take the shove?
if it's 6 damage, that wounds her.
Oh, does it?
The other, yeah, because she's taken 3, isn't it?
Yeah, and he has wounded her. I don't know if I would have wounded her because it's a waste of
Yeah, I would have.
momentum.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
have left it. I would have done the double push. I mean, the heal doesn't go anywhere, but double push and a pin, leave her on 3 health, 2 health,
Yep.
so she can't even use Vader's ability.
Exactly.
That would that would have been the better play, I think.
So what we're saying there, guys, is because Ahsoka was already on 3 damage, you knew you were going to win the struggle if you took that back left objective anyway. So it would have probably been better just to leave her on very low health, allowing you to easily access a momentum cube in struggle number 2 for Unlucky Gamer. Instead we did do the wound, but that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. So let's have a look. What have we got? We've got they're jamming our comms, and we've got the same regroup tactical ability. So it's still going to be removing 2 damage or 1 condition at the start of a Shatterpoint activation. And looks like we've chosen, when I highlight the screen here, looks like we've chosen the top map. So it's going to be...
that was a non-decision there by Oleg. He has 2 of them versus in the
2
other
of the 3.
one. Yeah, he only has 1, or even no, he has none. So it was either get 2 of the objectives or get none. So
yeah, and it is going to be Darth Vader's objective here. So we've drawn the ARFs, and that's pretty good. That's just going to allow Oleg to score all 3. So that's going to make for a pretty quick struggle 2, I think. A pretty quick struggle 2. What do you think of the Shatterpoint picker loser picks sort of design? Do you enjoy that? It keeps one player in the game a little bit more. Do you like that?
I think it does. Sometimes you don't get good options. Either, both of them are not great for you, but it's much better than it just being random. And I think the way that you can see that is the first mission pack. The loser of the first struggle chose the second, but then the loser of the second chose the third. And what you would see there is oftentimes if you won the first struggle, you were a good chance to win the game because you got to pick in that third struggle. Whereas with this one, only the loser of the first one gets to pick in the second, and the third is set.
Is
And
balanced.
now
Quote
I've
unquote
seen
balanced.
a lot more games where you lose the first struggle, but you win 2 and 3. So I think it's a really good mechanism, but I think this mission pack, they've really kind of nailed only being able to pick in the second struggle.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so what we've had there, guys, is we've activated the ARF troopers. There was a disarm, a pin, and an expose on them. The condition chosen to remove was the expose, and then the back ARF trooper here took the brunt of the pin, I should say, and then allowing the front ARF trooper to do a move. So that's sort of where we've ended up. We've done a defensive maneuver, a take cover, and now it looks like we'll be doing an advance as well, just to make sure that we're not engaged or slowed down by pawns. And then, of course, we'll probably just sit on this objective here and go for it that way. So we just got that advance happening now. We're going to take this ingress point, it seems, with this ARF trooper. And then, I think hopefully we sit right on the middle of this one, making it a lot easier, or a lot easier for Oleg to maintain the objective, because as we've sort of repeatedly said on the stream, if you stand right on the center of the objective, or sort of with your base on the objective, you can't be pushed off in one success. So I think that's something that we should all start practicing and making the most of. And that will be a 4-point swing to Oleg here. So look, I've probably neglected to mention what's on the line here for this game. So both of these players are in the Oceanic bracket for the most recent TTS or Tabletop Simulator episode for the Shatterpoint League. So we do have basically whoever wins this game will progress into the elimination brackets and join yours truly in the elimination rounds. I think that they start next week. Wargaming Dad, this is only struggle number 2. Yeah, we had an hour-long struggle 1, which was absolutely savage. But I think we're going to have a pretty quick struggle 2 here, with Oleg having scored 4 points. Yeah, it was a cracking first struggle, absolutely. Really back and forth. Fantastic. So we've drawn Pons, Michael. What do you reckon? Do we just set ourselves up for struggle number 3? How do we do this?
But I think, yeah, the difficulty is you don't know, right? And you can't pick, as we were just saying, you can't pick in
Yeah.
struggle 3. So you kind of have to, yeah, it's tough, isn't it? I think you might still go with Pons.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
interesting. Yeah, he's trying to push Vader off.
I think it's a good shout, to be honest.
Yeah.
The reason that I say that is because the one success will push Vader, and then I think the angle's there for the push.
Yeah, I
and
think
then
it is
you,
too.
yeah, if you get a second success, you also get a reposition as well. So if you do a climb as your sort of second action, you'll be really, really good. So Morgan has braced us or embraced us and is joined us in the chat. So thanks for tuning in, guys. So we had first player as Unlucky Gamer. So Unlucky Gamer set up initially. We had an hour-long struggle number 1. And we've just cracked the start of struggle number 2. So it's going to be a really interesting struggle with Oleg scoring 4 to probably rip the band-aid right off this struggle and progress us quickly into struggle number 3. So that is where we're at. And I'll just put you guys, give you guys a view of the scorecard here. That's where we're looking. And I can hear some dice rolling. So it looks like we're having a crack into Darth Vader. Michael, did you see any expose going on Darth Vader there or no?
I don't believe so. No, he didn't pay for that. So
Okay.
that's all right for Vader. That's block 3.
Yeah, it's a great roll from
Yeah.
Vader. You won't get the push, will you? Oh no, Pons gets a push on 1.
No, he doesn't. He
push
gets
on 2.
push on 2.
Oh, it's a choice between a push and a reposition. That's a bit stinky. So yeah, you won't be able to get this, and I don't think I'd put Pons here, and the reason that I say that is just because you want him to influence another objective, right? Like you're about to jump into struggle number 3, and you want him either in the center, which is I think active 66% of the time, and you want on the flanks, which are also 66% of the time. So where Plo is or where Vader is. So Oleg's in a really good position, I think, for struggle number 3 as well. Yeah, so he scored 0.
Yeah, that was rough. Vader was outside of 5 for the ARC troopers, so you couldn't have exposed him.
Okay.
And 1 damage is not really worth
No.
the force, I don't think.
No. The expose would have been good there, I think, to try and get some of those successes. I think a push onto Vader and then a climb actually would have gotten Pons on this objective. But I think no matter what no matter what Oleg does now, it is indeed going to be struggle win for Oleg. So we're going straight into struggle 3, and we've pulled the 2-1-2s. So how do you make the most of this activation? I mean, they've got every condition known to man here. So what are you going to get rid of? I mean, they're not moving anywhere. You probably get rid of the strain, right?
I think you have to get rid of the strain, and you want to get... Yeah, you have to get rid of the strain, and you just eat the... Well, what do you do? Yeah, I think you get rid of the strain, and you take cover to get out of engagement with Mace, and you just say, I'm going to hold this back point. So the closest one eats the pin, and the other one moves on to reinforce it.
And I mean, yeah, I think that's the... Yep, so we've had one clone just then eating a pin.
No, I think they may have healed. No,
recovered.
Yeah, they may have recovered, but I I'm not sure what's happening here.
No, I
Yeah,
think
okay,
the
so
the
that he
first
paid
action.
for yeah, he paid for defensive maneuver.
Oh, okay, cool. There you go. So paying for defensive maneuver, paid two for that, and now I think we're having an attack into Mace Windu, which is pretty good. I mean, if you get the offensive expertise here, you can get some damage through underneath all of that juicy defensive tech that Mace Windu has. Mace is actually in Vapard, so he's not as defensive at all, and he will no longer have protection and steadfast. So yeah, not a bad shout. You won't be getting any combat trees. Oh, they haven't even shot. Okay, so what I think just happened was we had a move. One of them ate the pin.
Yeah, okay.
One of them
Yep.
moved to the center. Yeah.
And then they take cover. Yep.
Ooh, and it's straight
Oh
across.
no,
And
they didn't take cover.
this is probably
Wow.
what we didn't want
Wow.
to see.
Yeah, I think if you're unlucky gamer, you're feeling unlucky at this.
Yeah. And we've got press forward as the tactical ability here. So at the start of the Shatterpoint's unit's activation, each character in the unit may dash. So that helps Mace a lot, Mace especially, I'd say. Um, so yeah, but Mace is in trouble now because there's nothing he can do about this backline objective with both Barris and the 2-on-2s, because he's sort of only got. Oh, he doesn't even need to though. Sorry, because of
Doesn't
course,
care, right?
no, he doesn't
At
care.
this stage, he doesn't care, right? Because he could. Oh, yeah, okay.
No, it's a switched off objective anyway. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think the thing is, if you know, Pons moved up the clone commanders. If you'd moved Obi-Wan, he could have taken that ingress point, and now when Mace activates, Obi-Wan could have taken. I mean, hindsight's perfect, right? But Obi-Wan could have got up there with and contested that point with Vader.
Yep. Yep. And we are indeed seeing the Obi-Wan Kenobi activation here, which is I think what we were sort of pushing for initially. Um, um, Sort of in struggle number one, Obi-Wan had the option between going for the ARF troopers and going for Darth Vader. I mean, Unlucky Gamer won the first struggle for sure, but I think the flanks are usually what you want on Sabotage Showdown, I think. So we've got a 10 dice hello there going into Darth Vader, who is not exposed.
Oh,
Still
that's
going to be
lovely though.
blocking four, but yeah, that's a great roll from Obi-Wan. So 4 successes and 3 criticals. So it will just be 3 criticals going through, but that's the push that you need. You can see if that gets you off, and if it doesn't, you can always choose
A double push.
another push, because he's got a really sexy combat tree there. So he can
Or
go
you
up. Yep,
disarm and expose.
which is
But
pretty
I
good as
think
well.
that's enough to get him off. I think that's enough to get him
Yeah,
off,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. I'd say so. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to keep the camera as stable as possible. So that's where we're at the moment. So we've got Vader getting pushed off. I'd say the angle is correct. Yeah, I mean, he definitely gets down on that elevation. It's just not the easiest map to sort of get everything in one as we normally try to do. Did we wound Vader? That's the question.
No.
No. Okay, good. So we've only got 3 left on Vader, but he's now disarmed and exposed, and we will be scoring two 2 points for Unlucky Gamer, and of course claiming 1 for Oleg.
It'd be
We've got the
three, right? Because
center.
he took the right one as well. Unlucky gamer, because the ARF troopers aren't wounded yet.
Oh, of course. Yeah, sorry. It is 3. Nice. Yep. I keep thinking that the ARC troopers are wounded. Um, yeah. All right. So who have we pulled? We've pulled Barris. Okay. So Barris can definitely get the wound here. She'll be able to push probably Mace Windu and also wound the ARC troopers there as well. So that's quite good. So I think that's the play. Barris has done a move there, and I think she'll just continue to have a crack
Okay.
into.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. I think they took that. Did they take that back? No. Okay. I thought maybe she was going for a climb because I don't
I
think
mean, she won't be able to climb
she
now.
she's not within one of. She can't climb now because she's engaged, but she's not within one of that ingress.
Yeah, and we can still have a potential um, force speed, or because we
Yeah,
haven't
force
spent the
speed.
force yet. Yeah. And that's an easy that's an easy days on the ARF troopers, right? You just sort of force speed up there.
Correct.
You have a swing at them. Maybe you get far enough in your tree to also force push Mace really far away from the middle objective here. And now we're sort of back in that ping pong zone where we go momentum until someone breaks parity. So what powerhouse activations have we had so far? We've had Obi-Wan Kenobi this struggle. So we won't be going Obi-Wan until we get another Shatterpoint. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And we haven't had Plo yet, right?
We didn't we get Plo? I
Okay.
can't
The
remember.
reason that we're rolling 8 dice here, guys, is because of Faithful Padawan. So Barris is kind of nice, and she gets to roll extra dice if she is engaged with the same character that's engaged with a Jedi primary unit. So both the Jedi primary unit being Plo Koon and Barris Offee will both be rolling 2 extra dice. So she's rolling 8, which probably means she's not going to be taking any damage from Vader anytime soon, which is good.
No. So she got 3 successes through from the crits.
Okay. Yep. Which is definitely enough to wound those ARF troopers.
It is, yeah.
Okay. So, what are we doing? 3 successes isn't enough, so we can still spend some force maybe to push Mace, or do you just not bother? I mean, Mace is sort of locked where he is. Excuse me. Anyway, and the reason I say that is just because he's not going to be able to get control of the objective that both Barris and Plo are on. So his best choice is to probably just sort of go middle. I would have liked. This is sort of where the momentum on a wounded Ahsoka would sort of pay dividends here, just because Mace would probably be able to do a move, an attack, push her around, and then climb up onto that middle objective. So I think leaving her unwounded in struggle number 1 and only on I think 2 health remaining would have
Yeah,
been
it
would have
was
been the
2.
play there. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. That would have been the play.
yeah. All right, so we've got Mason reserve, so we have to roll the priority dice. Looks like we're doing a dash of some kind.
Yeah, this will be the dropping the hunker.
Oh, of course, yep. And that's a really good example of a good use of that ability, guys. So just remember, you always get to drop some hunkers, and of course, reposition yourself. So this is where I think we've seen. This is the second time where Unlucky Gamer could have actually backstopped himself with a
Yeah, could have
clone.
just that would have been the much better play. Is just put himself right up against Mace, and then the force
Yeah,
push has nowhere to go.
exactly. Yeah. Because we had that same scenario come up in struggle number 1. So I think that's another really good use of Obi-Wan Kenobi, shirking the hunker and standing sort of right in the way of where your opponent wants to push you. And just remember, guys, we are not allowed to measure an angle unless we're actually doing it. So whilst Oleg measured then, he does have to spend the force now, or in reality, should have to do that. And unfortunately, guys, we've had this objective again be the priority objective. So there's almost no way that we can get both Plo and Barris off this objective unless we have maybe the ARF troopers or something similar. What do you reckon?
I think you don't go with Mace now. You have to go with somebody else
Yeah, definitely,
because
definitely. I mean,
yeah,
Mace can't
Mace is not
influence it.
not helping. He's not helping.
Yeah. Mace isn't a bad shout maybe to take the center objective. I mean, that's something that you really want to do. We've got Olex, who is that? That's a 2-1-2 underneath the barricade there. So that's sort of where you want to be probably. You want someone to take that objective on the same elevation. So Mace could come in potentially and have a swing at Barris and maybe wound her and then get far enough to get onto the center objective. That maybe is a play just to try and weaken up Plo's unit there a little bit. But we haven't had Shatterpoint activated for Oleg, have we, Michael?
No, we haven't. We haven't.
Yeah. So we've got some really good plays here for Oleg. We've got the Shatterpoint, we've got Plo, we've got Ahsoka. So we've got a lot of push sort of heavy characters here, which is really nice for Olek. And we've got Mace and Shatterpoint for Unlucky Gamer, and then basically the Troopers and Rex. Or have we had Rex already?
No, oh, I think we've had Rex, but I also think we've had Plo. Um,
Oh, really? Sorry.
I thought we had Plo, but look, I could be wrong. It's tough to remember that second struggle was just
Yeah, it
or
was a
was it was
blazer.
two activation. It was two activations from Oleg to win, right? Like it was
Yeah, it
super
was
fast.
savage.
I
So
think
yeah, well, you go.
no, I was just gonna say I think you can't go with Mace here. I think you have to
Mm,
draw. Yeah, see, Clone Commandos is fine. You could
yeah,
take take cover, advance, but I guess you could even maybe you can't spend the force. I don't know.
I think you can. I mean, you got the Shatterpoint. Oh, but Mace is in Varpard, so yeah, that's not easy. That's not easy. Um, if you wound, I mean, look, the commandos aren't bad. Where's the second commando? Is he
He's
sort of out and
underneath
about?
the first one. No, he's underneath the first one.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
that's what I'm saying. You could take cover and get both of them up onto that point with
Definitely.
a climb. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if
I
you
think
want
that's
to do some
probably.
damage, if you want to do some damage,
I mean, Vader's pinned and disarmed, right?
yep.
Oh, sorry,
And
he's
he's
not
only
pinned, but he is
got,
disarmed.
but well, he's exposed and disarmed, and he only has
Yeah,
3 health left. So you can
yeah,
definitely.
exactly.
But I'd almost leave Vader as he is because you're
Yeah,
like Vader's
I
coming
don't
up.
think you're worried about him. Yep.
Yeah, Vader's coming up, right? And do you want him to be disarmed and have you know 3 health left, or do you want him to be fresh and just need to
Yeah.
spend an extra force?
The one thing that you can do, which is pretty cheeky, is as we've just gotten, we've got the 2 crits going through for Unlucky Gamer, and you can just stop there. So you can do 2 damage and a pin onto
Yeah,
Darth Vader, which is
yeah.
pretty good, because then you could, of course, just sort of leave him on
You,
1 health.
and you can't use hatred makes you powerful.
Yeah, exactly. What stance are we in for Darth Vader? I wouldn't be wounding him.
So,
Who are we shooting at?
well,
Oh, it looks like we're
I
shooting
don't
at the
know.
ARF troopers. I see. Yep.
Yeah, because there's only 5, so it must be no. Oh no, do they? No. Who's got 5? Ahsoka?
The ARF
No,
troopers
she's
with a hunker token. Yep. ARF troopers with a hunker token.
they don't have a hunker token though,
Yeah, they do. OLX ARF troopers have a hunker token.
do they?
Yeah, yeah. It's just on the top of their card there.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, that's all good.
No. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So we have done a wound there. I feel like we could have done a cheeky 2 successes into the into Vader there, and just left him on 1 health remaining with a disarm,
Mm-hmm.
a pin, and an expose, and that sort of just completely neuters his activation. There's almost nothing
Yep.
that he can do at that point,
Yeah.
which would
Agreed.
have been really good. But we have scored 2, and now we are controlling both the center and the closest objective to the camera, which is pretty good for Unlucky Gamer. I mean, Darth Vader can't take the closest one off of both the Clone Commandos and Obi-Wan Kenobi, but we've unfortunately for Unlucky Gamer got the center objective here. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I've also got to upload Oleg's card. So we're on the 3rd struggle, and I've just uploaded the overlay to show that we've had both players win an objective. Okay, so it looks like we've drawn Darth Vader, which is yeah. I mean, so he's just going to come up here and try and wound these clone commandos, which is good. So he's done a recover action, it seems, and then he's done a Vader's Fury. Because of the ingress point here, and that's where the pin would have been absolutely clutch. So forget about winning the ARF troopers, right? Leave Vader on 1, pin him so he can't recover, and then he's just rolling natural dice at you. So that would have been my play, I think, there. What do you reckon about that, Michael?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was the play to go with. Vader is one of those characters, kind of like Maul as well, where you want to drop conditions on him and then go, well, what are you going to do in your activation? You know.
Yeah, no, I
Whereas
completely agree.
right now, I mean, he almost doesn't even care if he takes the 2 damage, right? Like he just go,
Yeah, you just do
wound
it,
me,
right?
just
Yeah,
wound me.
he's elected not to, but
Yeah.
also this is a big role for Vader. I mean, you would have only gotten 2 crits there with that. Actually, would you even be in combat is my question. You would have had to have... Yeah, you could do it. You could do it. You'd have to get rid of 1.
Well,
Yeah, you'd still
you
be in
wouldn't
combat.
you wouldn't have expertise though, right? So
Yeah, you wouldn't have expertise.
you would have only got 2 crits instead of 4.
Yes, but you still get the 3 successes that you need to wound the clone commandos. So he still would have done it. So it doesn't. It's not the craziest play, but it would have been a lot more resource intensive, I think, for Oleg.
He would have got just the 2 crits, right?
Is there an expertise? Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, would have just gotten 2, which wouldn't have been enough. Yeah.
No, it wouldn't have
Yeah.
been enough, right? So,
Yeah. And there's, I guess, the swing that you're hoping for Unlucky Gamer, had it happened that way. So, guys, what we're just talking about there is had the clone commandos not gone for the ARF troopers and instead dropped some damage and pins onto Darth Vader, they could have actually prevented this from happening, just because Darth Vader would have been pinned, disarmed and exposed. So he also would have been on 1 health left, preventing him from using Vader's Fury. But unfortunately, without the pin, he was able to come up here onto this point and wound the commandos, which is a double whammy because this point is also controlled by a 2/1 12th trooper underneath. So that's a big swing for Oleg, putting it back into his favor a little bit, because this is where he's at. He's on 1 cube. He's got 4 to go. And we've got the center objective being live again for the priority. So who are you hoping for? Do you go...
I think you have to consider Mace at this point, right? Because
Yep.
Mace is in Vapard, so he could, you could move Rex forward.
Yep. Get him centered. Yep.
Yep, move yourself forward and then take out the 212, hopefully, and climb. And even if you don't do that, you will probably be, you'd be outnumbering at the lower elevation.
Yes. Yeah. I think Mace will be able to climb
Rex
as well.
Wounded,
Rex is not wounded. He's alive.
no,
Yep.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, that would be my play.
The other play to consider here is condition
Strickland can go
stacking Plo Koon, because you know that Barriss is already gone. You could go for Plo Koon, take him out as well, condition stack him, and then you could still climb, I think, or do something similar. I'm just going to shift the camera here, guys, just to try and get a better view of down the bottom. So just so you guys can see what's happening. Mace is driving his little speeder towards these 2-on-2s, and he's probably trying to take them out. The only reason I say this, Michael, just to try and get to justify my point, is if you take one of these characters out, being Plo or Barriss, then you can, of course, put a bit more pressure on that objective later game, which I think is probably what we need to start doing here. But what we've done is pushed Rex forward with rush to action. We've moved Mace forward with rush to action, and now we're going to have a swing in Vapard. And this is nice because you now switch over into into Jedi Master for the defensive expertise. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at 1 block for the old 2-on-2s and a full tree for Mace.
Is it a 4?
Sorry, it's 1 short.
Oh,
what am I talking about? It's only 4 successes. What am I talking about? But it's still more than enough to wound the 2-on-2s. Yep. And we can still climb with Mace as well, which is good.
Can,
Yeah. I think you climb into the center.
I'd backstop myself on that.
Yeah.
If I do, I think that's the key thing that probably, Unlucky Gamer needs to take away from this game. Backstop your characters so that the
backstop your characters, absolutely. And there's no way that we can engage Plo and also be on this objective. Unfortunately, Mace is going to lose his protection and steadfast shenanigans, but it is what it is. So we're going to get a momentum, and we're going to score 2, 3. Yep. Okay. So it's pretty. It's still look. It's still in the balance. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
if
good. Yeah, it's a close
it's a
one.
it's a close one for sure. Yeah. And the
Ooh,
block
this is good
is.
though.
Ooh, yeah, it's good for Oleg.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good for Oleg.
And we've pulled the. Okay, we've pulled Ahsoka Tano. So Ahsoka's probably not going to be getting Mace Windu off the point. Did we flip into Jedi Master? We forgot. Oh, unlucky gamer. That would have
So
been so much better.
she can though. If can she move Plo Koon to within 2? Yep, that's what she's trying to do.
See, this is
And
why
then
you could have gone a little
all
bit
she
further
needs to do
away
is
here.
all she needs to do then is jump up, and she takes they
Yeah.
take that middle point.
I definitely would have tried to engage or get as close to that sort of little area as possible to block up that line. But that's a good play. I think that's in range. What do you reckon?
Is it? I don't know.
It's
It looked to be
close.
within range, and then she just jumps up. Well, yeah, she
Yeah,
just spends the force and jumps up, and then that's
yeah.
it.
There's a crack, and that's it. Yeah. I mean, it's not it. It's 3 points, and then we've got
But
to
I mean,
work really hard.
she takes that middle point though. Then
Yeah,
it's still
definitely.
in the balance. It still is in the balance, right? Because
Advantage Olek, but yeah, it is still in the balance
yeah,
for sure. So we can deal with we are engaged with Captain Rex down here, so we will have to spend force, which actually would be 2 force to jump up there. But you probably take a swing into Captain Rex, take some damage with Darth Vader just to try and cement the successes there, and you might even get a cheeky
it's a
jump.
jump on 2. Yeah, she gets
Exactly,
a jump
jump
on
on 2.
2.
Yep, so that's probably what I would do here, is just have a swing into Captain Rex and fish
Ooh,
for the
looks
jump.
like they spent the force though.
Okay, cool. I mean, better to guarantee it, and then maybe even have a swing into Mace Windu, who can be exposed by the ARF troopers. Nope, cannot, because they are indeed wounded. Okay. All right, so we are going to engage, and unfortunately we forgot to flip into Jedi Master here from Form 5 Vapard, Form 7 Vapard, which means that we won't be refreshing any Force for Unlucky Gamer, which might mean that he's thinking about an Obi-Wan activation for the Shatterpoint, but the Force refresh would come in clutch here, especially considering that now, you know, if the priority objective comes up onto Barriss or onto Vader, you know, we have a really good option to go with either Mace or Obi-Wan Kenobi here with the Shatterpoint. I can hear dice rolling. Let's have a look. What do we got? So 7 dice into Mace's 5. A great roll from Mace, though. A really, really good roll. So it's going to be 7 successes down to 3. So won't be shoving Mace off the point. Yeah, it won't be doing a lot of things, actually. So what do we got in 3? We get a reposition on Ahsoka. Yeah, we can either... I mean nothing. 2 damage and some conditions.
Ahsoka's roll was great as well.
Oh, no, yeah, no. Like, there's no swing there. I think it's just...
No, there wasn't.
Yeah, it's just... it is what it is. You'd need to get pretty deep in the tree with Ahsoka to actually displace Mace. And had he have been in in Jedi Master, you probably would have seen even less, and maybe not even any successes. So it's a close one. It is a close one indeed.
I think your play of attacking Rex first, that's the way to go.
Yeah, the no force might hurt here. How many cards do we have left in the bag, I wonder? I'm not entirely sure. This is the break that we needed for Unlucky Gamer. So he's got that priority objective, and this is where we're looking. So it's pretty even, really. We have to draw. Okay. What are we going to see? What are we going to see? Who are you hoping for? I mean, you probably want to go Mace, right? Oh, it's the Shatterpoint. So this is the last one. Okay. There you go. So, yeah, so at this point, you just go for Barriss with Mace, I'd say. I don't think there's another better option. Do you think? Do you think there's a better Shatterpoint option? I mean, if you went for Rex... there's nothing that you can do. If you went for Obi, you'd just be putting some damage onto Darth Vader.
So if you go with Rex, you can move Mace off that point. You can
Yep.
dash yourself because you've got the free dash from the Shatterpoint.
Yep.
Um, so you can guarantee taking that side point from Barris
Yeah, without losing a man on the
without.
on the center objective.
Well, I mean, the center objective it kind of doesn't matter at this point, right? Like he's outnumbered 2-1 there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you probably want to start putting some bodies there, just to inevitably take it off in maybe the next deck rotation. Um, yeah, I think Rex is good. You can probably get the wound on Barris. I mean, she's got 6 health left. Rex can do that in 4 successes. Is it
Yeah,
4? Yeah, it is.
I'd probably go with Rex.
You don't need to wound her. You just need to push her off, and I mean, she can get up there. But Mace is your guarantee, right? Mace is like absolutely going to do it, and he can Shatterpoint. He's got Varpard as well, so he's got a whole bunch of shenanigans here that he can use. What about the viewers? Anyone? You go.
The thing is, dice are going to dice, right? Sometimes the dice betray you.
They do.
Whereas Rex guarantees you the point that Barris is on, right? And that
Yeah.
means that instead of, when you roll the priority objective token, instead of it being 2 chances bad for you versus 1 chance being bad for you, right? So I think it actually is a big play. I would have gone Rex, but I do
Okay.
think
Interesting.
Rex is a bit of a legend.
So what
Because
you would have
you
done
could have
there is, yeah, just to
activated
wrap my head
Rex,
around it. Yep. Yep. You go.
so you move Mace forward with your ability, and then because it's a shatter point, you get a free dash. So
Yep.
he gets close to the ingress point, then he advances and punches Barris.
Yep. Yep. That's fair.
Right?
Yep. And you're hoping to
And
get at least 1 success.
you're hoping to get 1 success. You've got Mace in actually a pretty good position where there's 3 people engaging him, so he's giving you know he's giving steadfast and protection out. And
Yep.
yeah, I mean, look, I guess the thing that you might consider is Barris still has to activate.
She does, and trying to condition stack her would be really good, especially in Varpard.
Yeah.
You want a good roll here, but it's also maybe a good shout because here, just sorry to move the camera, but here you're engaged with 3 characters with Mace, so it's quite strong, the position that he's in. So let's see how he goes. He's got 1 force to play with for a reroll. So he's pulled 2 crits. Did we expose or did we? No, you didn't have the force to expose. Okay, so we've got 1 block on Barris or 2 blocks on Barris. So it'll be 4 going through, 3 going through, and he could spend a force for a reroll. I mean, there's nothing else to spend it on, right?
Enough, right? 3's enough, isn't it?
3's enough to do it, but do you
Yeah,
want conditions as well? That's the question. He's got
You
1
could
force
expose
left,
it.
right?
Yeah, but I mean, what conditions can you put on it, really? Like, maybe you get the 4th one. So what's that one? 6.
You need to do 6 damage with Mace.
Yeah.
So that'd be
Which he's got
1,
now,
2,
right?
3.
He's got now with 3 and exposed, but you don't care about the exposed because she'll get rid of
Yeah.
it.
No, correct. So, let's say you get the 4th success, you can put a strain, an expose,
Okay.
and a disarm on Barris,
That's
which
true.
would be pretty sexy. So I mean, it's not costing you anything. This is a cheeky little play here. Nice. Okay, so what we've actually seen there, guys, is the first use of Plo Koon's identity, which is fantastic. So what's happened is Plo Koon's taken an expose. He has then allowed Barris to use his expertise tree, which is nice. And then if he gave his expertise tree to a trooper or a Padawan, he gets to dash, which is really spicy. So it's actually going to prevent Unlucky Gamer taking that objective at all, which is only going to get him 2 points, and that might be the swing that Oleg needed to cement his control over the objective, or over the game. Are we going to see Mace flip into his Jedi Master? I would like to think so. It doesn't
Just
sound like
saying,
it. No.
just saying, the Rex play was even better then.
Yeah, the Rex play would have prevented that, yeah. So you would have dashed Mace with the ability just to get him on the point, and then you could have climbed with Rex to get 2 bodies on the point, and then there's no ambiguity there. You can attack Plo... you can attack Barris. Plo can come onto the point all he wants, because you're still going to have 2 to 1, which is really spicy. So yeah, I think that was the play there, Michael. You're a genius. Yeah. You're a wizard.
No, I just love Rex, and I love Rex from playing you and seeing how damn well you play Rex. But no, Rex could have got the free dash because of the Shatterpoint, which gives you the free dash, and then he could have just got to the Ingress point and got up.
Yeah. So we're Shatterpointing Vader here, and we're just going ham into Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi's done a good block there, but Vader gets a lot of crits, unfortunately. So 4 expertise on Vader. What's that?
5.
What's 4 expertise on Darth Vader?
Two crits, a hit and a damage. So it's basically the 3 crits and a damage get through.
3 crits and a damage get through. So it's only 2 crits and a damage get through.
No, I think I took out. Oh no, yeah, it's 2 crits and a damage.
2 crits and a damage, but that is the one shove that Vader needs to get Obi off the point and score 4 for Oleg, which is we're in crisis mode now. We're in crisis mode now for Unlucky Gamer. That Rex play would have put us only on the first struggle cube. So some really interesting plays there. Priority is moving back to the center, so we can take it. We can indeed take it. Who do we pull for? We've pulled Rex.
Yeah, he's got all his force back. Has he pulled Rex? Sorry,
he's pulled Rex. Yeah.
I may be updating them. They're disconnected.
You've disconnected? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, not a problem.
I'm trying to reconnect.
It happens to all of us. It happened to me earlier. Okay, so we've pulled Rex. He's thinking about maybe going with him. I'm just going to angle the camera slightly just so we can see if he puts anything in reserve. And it looks like we're sort of doing the play that you suggested earlier, Michael, with moving Mace into the center with Get a Move On Soldier, and then we're probably going to have Rex come up and take the center as well, just to guarantee the point, which I think is a really smart move. So do we try and wound Padawan Ahsoka, or do we put some damage onto Plo? We do have a wounded Plo. Oh, sorry, we do have an exposed Plo, so we could put some good conditions on him and maybe displace him a little bit. We've spent 2... There you go.
I think you put damage on Padawan Ahsoka and try and win her.
Okay, I can hear dice rolling. I'm not entirely sure who's being attacked here.
It's not... It's 5 dice, so it's most likely Ahsoka.
Yep. And
she has blocked 3, so it's not going to be.
I think she might have been exposed. Because we spent 2 force. So
it could be a damage or the exposed.
Yep. I don't think it'd be the damage. I'd say it would probably be the expose, just to guarantee it.
Yeah, like the damage was the gambler's play, because the damage lets you do 8 with Rex.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
It's the gambler's play, right?
Yeah. So what did we get total? We got 6 through, and we've climbed up as well.
For double pushes.
Yeah. So I don't know how Rex ended up there with... He just climbed, I'm assuming? And we're just somehow...
he climbed up and then punched.
Climbed up and punched, but where did the 2 force come from? That's my question.
So that would have been the expose from ARFs.
Yeah, but we got 6 successes there, and how many blocks did we get? 1. So it should be full tree, right?
This is full tree, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we did get full tree. My bad. All right. Yeah, and that's why I love Rex. He's just so consistent. So we have scored 2 points there. And unfortunately, we're in crisis mode again. So if Oleg gets a good priority roll here, we're in trouble. And that is Vader's objective control. Okay, so we just need to take 1 point back, which is going to be difficult because we've got both Mace and we've got Rex on that point here.
Nah,
So
I think that's easy. I
okay.
think you just kill pawns and you're done.
Oh, of course. Yeah, because we
You
only
just
need
need to
one
do
momentum.
4. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just kill pawns and you're done.
Yeah. Brutal. What a game. I mean, it's not over yet. Not over until the fat lady sings. So let's have a look at what we get.
Ahsoka is she is pinned, but he's got all his force. So
Yeah.
he just goes, look, I'll spend 4 force to get 1 jump and an advance.
But what if it doesn't
Take
work?
take the damage on Ahsoka, and you need to do a whopping 4 damage on Pons.
Which is
It's actually a lot of
it's actually 4
successes.
successes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's actually 4 successes.
it's pretty
So
brutal.
it is not over. Wait. Is there any opportunity? There's not.
I don't know
There's
if I love
not.
that.
Look, I'd go for it. Like I would go, spend 2 from half. Just spend all your force because if you get it, you win.
But if you don't get it, you,
Yeah,
you might be in a lot of trouble because that's a lot of force drain to spend on
yeah, but
on
you're
a
still
50-50.
you're still on 3 with, you know, are they not playing? They're not playing Mission Critical, right?
No, not with chess clocks, no. But the
Yeah,
mod, the TTS mod still has it
yeah, okay.
inbuilt. So we are definitely activating Ahsoka. So we've just had the trigger of Racia being used on Plo Koon. I don't know what happened there, but it did get triggered. And now, yeah, so it looks like, are we forgetting the pin? We are. Do you want to just jump in and remind them of the pin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, Unlucky Gamer's got it. It's all good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we're retroactively spending. Looks like we retroactively just spent the force there to clear the pin, which I think would have been a missed opportunity, but I think it sounds like Unlucky Game is a massive gentleman, so that's fine. And we're rolling into Obi-Wan Kenobi, interestingly enough. So we do need 3 successes into Obi, but he's a bit of a tank.
But is he paying for expose?
He just paid for expose as well, yeah.
Yeah,
But he
okay.
still rolls a lot of dice. So
What?
you probably do what you said.
I mean, she still needs.
What's
Oh
a
no,
good
she
roll?
only needs 2 successes.
Is he got a condition? Oh yeah, no, that's right. And I think that's game.
Yeah.
Yep. So we've rolled 3 criticals. 3. Yeah, that's 6 successes, which is going to be 3 successes going through, and that is the game. So what a fantastic game. If you want to stick around real quick, Michael, we'll just chat about some of the main plays, and if anyone in the chat wants to talk about some of the main plays that we saw, I think there was a little bit of toing and froing in terms of whether or not in struggle number 1 we had Obi-Wan Kenobi go for Vader or for the ARF troopers. I think we decided to go for the ARF troopers, but I think that put a lot of pressure on the objective that I'm showing the stream right now. I mean, that made that fairly, I'd say, decisive. Sorry about the jump there. That was fairly decisive because Vader was just able to sort of stay up there. I think another maybe thing that we could have done is put a pin on Vader fairly early, and that would have really limited his capacity to swing things a lot. What do you reckon, Michael? Anything that you noticed? The Plo activation was savage.
Yeah, so I think Oleg pretty much made no mistakes that I saw. I think Unlucky Gamer, there were sort of 4 mistakes, I think. So 1, definitely Obi-Wan into Vader. That was the play for sure. Because you remove Vader, you take him off that point, and we saw how critical that point was, right?
Yeah.
If you get rid of him, it's taking that point and it's massively important. The other two were just he did half the right move in that after his clone troopers got wounded, he dropped the hunker and he dashed, but he didn't backstop the character that he needed to, right? So that they couldn't get pushed. And then the
Yeah.
fourth one was that Rex with the shadow point. Rex would have guaranteed that side point.
Mm.
And look, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't have made a difference, but I think it could have, right? Like it could have meant that it would, Oleg was under more pressure. Um, but look, it was a really great game. It was great to see Plo for
Oh,
the
it was
first time. I
fantastic to
think
see both Plo
um,
and Obi. Absolutely.
Obi's a beast. I think, there has been there has been some discussion that Obi doesn't do enough.
Some
I
discourse,
think,
baby.
yeah, some discourse that Obi doesn't do enough. That is just ridiculous. I think Obi is a fantastic piece. He really provides so much to a Galactic Republic list. Um,
Yeah. So I just
yeah,
want to sort of highlight that. I mean, you get 10 dice, and in 3 successes, you can either do 5 damage, a disarm, a shove, and an expose, or you also have the flexibility of doing 4 damage and double shove. You're rolling 10 dice, you've got a beautiful defensive expertise chart, and to boot, you've got knowledge and defense coming in clutch, right? I mean, that's just such a strong ability. I think we could have seen. I mean, just to preface, I think Unlucky Gamer and Oleg played really great games. I think Struggle One was a bit of a bit of a. It was a powerhouse of a struggle, right? It was really, really interesting to see how both players approached it. I think that we could have seen a few more intricate plays with knowledge and defense from Unlucky Gamer to prevent some of those force pushes, as you've said, Michael, which would have been really, really strong. But I mean, Obi's just so fantastic, I think. Yep. Absolutely.
yeah, it was a
Absolutely.
great game. Really fun to
Yeah.
watch. I think, and what I was saying before. Unlucky Gamer, he won the first struggle, but because in that third struggle you don't get to pick. So we
Yep.
saw here Oleg win the second struggle and then win the third struggle. And I think that's why this second mission pack is just that little bit more balanced that allows somebody to have that comeback win, right?
Yep.
They fight really hard for the first struggle, but they don't manage to win it. But they keep going and then they win struggle 2, they win struggle 3. And I think that's what I like to see in the game, that
Definitely.
it's not over in the first struggle. You keep fighting, and then you've got a chance to pull it back.
Definitely. All right. Well, look, Michael, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure having you in the commentary box, and I look forward to many more to come. Hopefully you enjoyed the experience and being on the slugs. Absolutely. Look forward to working with you again. In terms of the viewers, thanks so much for watching as well. You've been watching, of course, the Sydney City Space Slugs. We try and stream pivoting towards a Monday, a typical Monday. Look, if you like what you saw, chuck us a follow. And if you're watching this on YouTube, chuck us a like and a subscribe. Thanks again to Unlucky Gamer and to Oleg. And congratulations to Oleg for winning 2-1. And, of course, advancing on to the elimination rounds. So it's going to be a really, really good top cut. It's going to be a really, really good end to the episode. And I wish you all a happy new year. So we'll talk to you soon. I do have another stream tomorrow morning. It's going to be one of the West America's streams. So looking forward to bringing you that as well. All the best, guys. We will talk to you soon.